Alright, so the Habs play the Kraken later tonight. We'll see exactly how that game goes down. But what I wanted to do in this video was talk about the news that somebody is coming back to the organization, but not really in the way that we thought they would. Montreal Canadiens GM Kent Hughes revealed today that the Canadiens have activated Arber Xhekaj off of the IR and loaned him to the Laval Rocket. Now, I saw a bunch of people reacting to this in a... I don't know what's the right word to describe it. They reacted to this in a pretty concerning way. You had some fans going out there and saying, okay, wait a minute, what are the Canadiens doing? Why are they doing this? Why is this the decision they went out there and made? And so what I wanted to do in this video was just kind of talk about what's happening with the Montreal Canadiens, how everything's going down, and what this kind of means. So Arber Xhekaj, of course, we all recognize he has been a pretty effective Montreal Canadiens player the past few seasons. He had 13 points in 51 games played last year, had 3 points in 17 games played this year. Even though Xhekaj is not really a player that you have in your team because you want some good point production out of, he has a very particular skill set that makes him valuable. He polices the game, he provides a physical presence, and he makes the Canadiens tougher up front. You can very well say that Arber Xhekaj has been one of the most important players in the lineup when he's been in the lineup. Even though you have guys like Mike Matheson scoring more goals and more points, you have Caden Gooley, who has been such a shutdown beast, Arber Xhekaj has an element to his game that many of these Canadiens don't have. Now, to be honest, you could very well say that Xhekaj hadn't really been playing his best before he got injured, that he was a little bit more of a liability and struggling a bit more than he had been in the past few years. So with that in mind, it was intriguing for Canadiens fans when he got injured because they were kind of wondering, okay, what exactly are we going to get when he comes back? What's the Xhekaj that's going to return to the Canadiens lineup? How much is he going to be slowed down by this injury? And because he got injured, there was a concern as to when he would come back. Now he's not in the Canadiens lineup, but instead is being sent down to Laval. Now, the intriguing part about this is the entire reasoning for Xhekaj to be sent down. It was revealed by RDS that it is not a conditioning stint. This is not a situation where the Canadiens are saying, okay, you're just fully recovering from injury, so instead of giving you NHL minutes, we'll send you down to the AHL, you can get up to speed, and then we'll call you right back. This is not one of those conditioning stints. This is just a regular old, okay, you're getting sent down type of situation. Now, there are a few reasons for this. Firstly, you could say that the Canadiens' quote-unquote replacement for Xhekaj, Jayden Struble, has been playing really well and thus deserves his spot in the lineup. That is definitely a fair conversation to be having because, hey, Jayden Struble has been awesome. I think he's been a lot better than many Canadiens fans, myself included, have expected. So, in a way, sending Xhekaj down isn't really an indictment against him, but more so just a situation where you've got guys who are on the team that are already playing pretty well, and if you wanted to give Xhekaj more playing time instead of scratching somebody who doesn't deserve to be scratched, they are sending Xhekaj down to Laval. They're not saying it's a conditioning stint, but maybe it could very well just be that, giving him time to get back up to speed and eventually giving him NHL time later. They are saying it's not a conditioning stint, but who really knows? However, there are some concerns as to why this is going down too, and what I wanted to do was go over to the Canadian subreddit and read some comments that kind of express why this is not really an ideal situation. Take a look at the post made by Wolfatrix. This is the same Twitter post. Canadiens have activated Xhekaj off of the IR and loaned him to Laval. Top comment says, I'm so conflicted by this. Yes, Struble has played better, and Xhekaj could benefit from perfecting his game against lesser competition, but the AHL is such a rough league. The concern is that he'll be tempted to fight more often and may risk getting injured once again as a result of the AHL's physicality. Now, one of the replies says, yeah, that's true, but what if Xhekaj learns to throw his body around more? He would, A, be able to deal with the AHL physical play, and B, improve his stock on the Habs blue line since he'd be more akin to a Rivet or a Georges. That said, from what I've seen from Struble, Hugo is going to have to make some hard decisions when they're ready to compete. Sure, he can fight if the situation calls for it, but I'd like him to develop a shutdown sort of game to complement his grit. Then again, I'm not a coach or a scout, so what do I know? And that's one of the biggest things that I immediately thought of as well when I saw that Xhekaj got sent down to the AHL. Wait a minute, that is such a physical league. There are so many goons that are going out there and just hitting everybody, fighting everybody. The AHL is kind of like the wild, wild west of all the hockey leagues that are played in a pro capacity. So having Xhekaj get sent down there, I mean, I know he would probably be okay with the environment. Heck, he might even excel in that sort of range. But is that really what he needs? Does he need to be more physical? Does he need to get into more confrontations with guys physically, more shoving matches, more fights, more potential to get hurt a little bit more? Is that really the next thing that he needs? Now, there are more comments in regards to Jayden Struble on this post saying, hey, I mean, Struble has been really good, so there's no reason for him to get sent down, or there's no reason for him to get scratched. And then there's also the entire conversation about the Canadiens and their defensive depth. They have too many guys right now that are on the roster. And what a move like this does is it gives them more playing time, more playing opportunity in the NHL, and potentially more of a stage to showcase themselves off in a trade. With Arber Xhekaj down, it gives the Canadiens a bigger stage to showcase pretty much everybody else whom the Habs have on D. Everybody's been talking about the idea of trading Lindstrom away. There still are extra players like Jordan Harris. Of course, Jayden Struble is in there, Caden Gooley. So there are going to be some guys that may need to get themselves out of here just to make everything work numbers-wise, but for Arber Xhekaj, he is definitely not somebody the Canadiens would be thinking about trading away. He is too much of a unique presence to have that sort of an impact removed. But at the end of the day, Arber Xhekaj going down to the AHL, hopefully this will allow him to improve his game steadily, come back from injury, and hopefully, I say hopefully, learn to police himself a little bit better. Not saying that he was already imperfect when he was in the NHL in terms of being a physical presence and going out there and fighting guys, but hopefully in the AHL he doesn't go out there and go overboard, because it's very possible for him to do that considering the flow and how everything goes down in that league. If Arber Xhekaj goes out there and racks up a whole bunch of penalty minutes and a whole bunch of fights within his first week of AHL hockey, I would not be surprised. But hopefully it doesn't result in any more injury damage, it doesn't result in any more problems for him. If anything, it should be a lesson in how to police himself better, how to effectively manage a game that is a little bit rougher, and maybe bring that type of a style to the NHL when he comes back. Because there's no way he's spending the entire season in Laval. He's not that bad, so it's just a matter of time. Canadiens have to make a trade, they gotta send somebody out on the blue line, eventually call Xhekaj back up, and everything should be great, right? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the Canadiens sending Arber Xhekaj down on waivers, or not on waivers, excuse me, down to the AHL after activating him from the IR? What are your thoughts on them not using him in the NHL right away? Do you think this is an appropriate move? I have seen some conflicted Habs fans, some saying they would rather have seen him in the NHL. Why are they sending him down? This team needs that physical presence, etc, etc, etc. And then there are others that are not freaking out saying, okay, this is fine, like he'll be back up in no time, this is just for his conditioning, this will be okay. There are some extra concerns thrown in there, trades for defensemen, the physicality of the game in the AHL, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Arber Xhekaj and the situation in Laval? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.